Hey everybody, welcome to Hold the Mic. We are your hosts, ryanshead and Sherman. My
What
brother,
up?
how are you doing
What
today?
up, Doe, my man? How you doing on this fine Friday?
Doing freaking fantastic. And I think just to let everybody know that this is a pre-record today. I am likely in Disney right now watching fireworks as you watch this. And Ian will be kayaking around New York
You know what I'm
about this
saying?
time. So
And I know Dom will be playing with both the fire hose and the fireworks. So here
yes,
we go.
yes.
Oh boy,
Yeah,
Pluto!
he's gonna. Ooh, don't do that. Oh boy. But
Get
so
him.
we have an interesting show for you, or maybe, yeah, I'm going to say interesting. So, with everything going on and the economy and inflation and things like that being such a big focal point of the election, Ian and I thought it would be a good idea to look at something like what the top, well, not the top, what the worst 10 states are in the country right now.
Top 10 worst states in America.
You guys are not going to believe this list and some of the facts that we came up with. So we're just going to get
And
it.
receipts. And
Yeah,
receipts.
plenty of receipts. So we're going to get into it. This is, I want to put up the article just to give them credit here.
What inspired this show?
Yeah. So this is the article. The title is These Are America's 10 Worst States for Quality of Life in 2024. It was published on Saturday, July 13th of 2024 by Scott Cohn, and you can find him, it looks like, on social media at Scott Cohn TV. That's SCOTTCOHN TV. So we're using his article here as our guideline a bit. So just wanted to give him credit there. So the article was really good and eye-opening because it really breaks things down for how they look at this. So the study that they're using for this considers quality of life among 10 categories of competitiveness used to rank each of the states.
Right.
Under this year's methodology, the quality of life category counts for 13% of a state's overall score. We score each state on multiple livability factors, including crime rates, healthcare, air quality, and childcare. We also consider worker protections and legal safeguard against discrimination for all kinds. And we look at personal freedom, including reproductive rights. In these 10 states, the welcome mat has more than a few holes in it. I like how I said that. So, starting with
So
good
good.
old state of Arizona, where I live,
What up,
unfortunately.
AZ?
Yeah, what up? Or what's down, I should say. Yeah, I wish I could say that I'm surprised, but I'm not. While we elected Katie Hobbs in 2020,
Congratulations.
or 2022, sorry, it was 2022, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, whenever we elected her, we elected her,
2022.
damn it.
Yep.
And
Midterms.
yeah, but she's a Democrat, and she's been doing a good job. And we also elected
Because you
Chris
could have had
Mays.
Carrie Lake. You could have had Carrie Lake.
Yeah, we could have Carrie Lake. We'd be
Yep.
definitely failing then. The 1864 abortion ban would definitely still be here.
Oh my God.
So we've got a Democrat governor, we've got a Democrat AG, but what a lot of people don't realize is just because you have a Democratic governor doesn't mean you have a Democratic state. So
Right.
here in Arizona, we are run by Republicans and at the state legislature, which makes getting things done in the state difficult, which is why Katie Hobbs had to use executive orders a couple of times
Right.
because she couldn't get it done through the process. So she's like, well, we're going to do it anyway, which is why I like her, by the way. She's actually got the stones to say, well, we're going to push this through, even if you don't do it yourself.
Either get on board or get out of the way.
Yep. So the craziest thing was that they did not factor in the heat into our score. So they didn't factor in the heat itself, but they did factor in air quality. So our strengths were crime, voting rights. So I thought that was good. Worker protections, weaknesses, air quality, reproductive rights, and healthcare. So again, for those who didn't know, in Arizona, we were dealing with, after Roe v. Wade was overturned, there was a law from 1864, that's civil rights era, that automatically was re-implemented when Roe v. Wade was overturned. So the legislature. Go ahead.
Add this to it.
Yeah,
Arizona wasn't even a state when that law was in effect.
Correct. Yep, correct. So we had to go through, a process to get that thrown out, and there's still a small possibility that it could go into effect for a short period of time. So,
right.
Just very interesting. That what is it? This means Arizona reaches the bottom tier without even considering the sweltering heat. Yeah, exactly. I love living here in Tucson. I'm not gonna lie. I don't mind the heat so much. There's 2 months that are pretty rough. And then after that, I like it. It's better than growing up in Michigan, man. I don't miss the snow. I don't miss the slush. I
love the snow.
I like it when it's like nobody's walked in it. But after that, I'm like,
you want the fresh powder, huh? That's what
yeah.
You want?
Oh, dude, yeah. But yeah, after that, I'm done.
I'll take it, man. I'll take it. It's beautiful in New York for one snow, like like you said, the first snow on top.
Yeah.
But I tell you right now, after that first bus goes by, you're like, here's all that.
Get that slush up in your shoes.
And it looks like Skid Row. It's nasty. So I didn't realize there was a 2024 quality of life score that is part of this process, and you guys got 119 out of 325.
Yep, which is a D minus.
D minus, and it only gets worse from here, guys.
Yeah, this is 10. it only gets worse.
Let's just guess.
I just wanted to put this graphic up. So Ian and I, when we were looking at this list, here's how this happened. I want to give him a little context.
Yeah.
So Ian sends me this, and we're talking about the show and how we're going to do it. And I start looking at the states, and I'm like, wow, Arizona, Kansas, Louisiana. I'm like, I think almost all of these are Republican. Like, they're led by Republicans. And Ian's like, yeah, but, like Arizona's got a Democrat. I said, yeah, but that doesn't mean that they're run by Democrats. So we said, well, let's go dig into it a little bit and see what's what. And brother, tell them what you found.
No, what did you get from me? Because I was just like, fuck! As a text, randomly.
He texts me. He's like, holy crap, it's worse than I thought.
It's worse than I thought. I did not realize the extent of this. And you can pull up that graph. I started going through every single state on this list, and I was like, wow, the House majority is 31 Republicans, and the minority is 29. Yep. It is such a slim majority that's there, but yet that's all that matters. It's a slim majority.
All you need.
And then when you look at the Senate, if you pull that back up, just for those, you're looking at it being, 16 to 14. With a governor that is a Democrat. And so you're like, okay, I get why she has to do what she has to do, especially because we're not talking about her attacking immigrants, asylum seekers, or anything. She's trying to get what? Free food in schools? What is one of those executive orders that you would say, looking at just the
I like this one.
Alone.
She sent troops down to the border to help with the processes down there. You don't hear you don't hear him talking about that very often, do you?
No, you don't. So if you're looking at those executive orders where she's trying to get things like get order in place and what's happening, you're like, wow, she has to do that because you're looking at this being such a slim majority, but a majority no matter what.
Yep.
So interesting. But there's more when it comes to all these other states, and we'll see the worse these states are on the list, the more that majority is actually growing.
Yeah, absolutely. So next on our list at number 9 is Kansas. Quality child care is sparse in the Sunflower State, with just 825 licensed child care centers in the state of 2.9 million people, according to Child Care Aware of America. Kansas also has some of the most expensive child care in the nation. A married couple earning a median income can expect to spend nearly 14% of it on child care.
That's wild.
And that's what I mean. Like that's insane. You expect people to go make, $3,000 a month before taxes and then spend $1,000 of it on childcare. That's not even factoring in food and insurance and cars and gas. And
that's not even forcing them to have the kid because they had one night out or because they were just trying and they're like, yeah, okay, now we have one kid, but now we have two because we happen to have twins. So now what do you do? Yep. We're trying to have one, but now we have two.
Oh, and don't let the prairie fool you. Kansans reported more than 11,000 violent crimes in 2022. So their score was 113. Their quality of life score, was 113 out of 325, which is a grade of F. Their strengths were health care and reproductive rights. Their weaknesses were child care, crime, and worker protections.
How are your strengths and your weaknesses tied to each other? Reproductive rights, and that's a plus, but child care.
But if you choose to have them, you're in trouble.
Thanks, Kansas. Thanks.
Yeah.
Let me see. Let's see who's representing you. Yes. Let's pull that one up.
Yep. Do you want to take the next one on the list? Oh,
no,
real quick though.
Let's look at the majority.
So this state, Kansas, there's the majority.
Majority 85 Republican to 40 Democrat, and then the Senate majority is 28 to 11 Democrats and 1 independent, with a Democratic governor. It's just so wild.
Yep.
Immediately an F, and that number between the two in the House jumped sporadically. Keep going. We'll go down this list.
Yes, sir. So number 8, we have Louisiana. I've always wanted to visit Louisiana.
I love Louisiana.
I've never gone. It's one place I want to go.
I love Louisiana because of the food.
Yeah, I want to go for the food and the music.
That's all you need to go for.
Yep. That's what I want to go for. So people in the Pelican State pride themselves in being made of stern stuff. That's probably a good thing in the state with the 4th highest violent crime rate in the nation. Louisiana is America's least healthy state, according to the United Health Foundation, with the 4th highest rate of premature deaths. I'm like, yeah, we're going there for food. More than 40% of Louisianans are obese. However, the state is a leader in childcare with more than 1,800 licensed facilities in a state of 4.5 million people. So their score, their quality of life score is 100 out of 325, which is a grade of what?
F.
And their strength is childcare.
That's
their
right.
weaknesses are crime, health, and reproductive rights.
Yeah.
So they're going to force you to have the kid. They got decent childcare, but
and mind you, this right here, this Congress on the state level, they just push for the 10 Commandments to be put in classrooms. That's what's coming out of Louisiana right now.
Did I just do that?
There you go. House majority, you're looking at Republicans 73, Democrats 32. The minority, and then for the Senate majority, you're looking at 28 Republicans, a minority of 11 Democrats with a Republican governor. Yeah. This is what starts happening when you start seeing where it's all fully Republican ticket.
Yeah.
You start seeing the 10 Commandments are forced upon you.
Yep.
In a classroom.
Yep. It's insane.
F.
F. So that was... Moving on to number 7.
Number 7
would be
Missouri.
The great state of Missouri. In 2020, as the COVID-19 pandemic raged, Missouri became one of the last states to give in and allow early and mail voting. But it remains one of the most burdensome states to vote in, according to elections researcher Michael Pamonti, who has published a cost of voting index since 2018. Okay. Missouri is one of only 10 states requiring a qualified excuse to vote by mail. Missouri also has America's 6th highest crime rate, with more than 30,000 offenses reported in 2022. Their quality of life score is 98 out of 325, which gives us a grade of
F. And we are out of the 3 digits and
with
going
their
down.
One strength being air quality and their weaknesses being voting rights, crime, and reproductive rights. So you'll be able to breathe, but you won't be able to do much anything else.
Can't do nothing past that. Maybe you can find something to eat.
Oh, good Lord.
That's all you got. When you're looking at their House majority, you're looking at 101 Republicans in the majority, and the minority is Democrats with 51, and there's 1 vacant seat. With the Senate majority, you're looking at 24 Republicans and a minority of 10 with a Republican governor.
So Republicans straight down.
Straight ballot ticket. And you see that the dividing line is just getting bigger and bigger.
Yep. That
as
is
the number.
Isn't that
and
interesting, dude?
the letters are of failure are showing more prominently as we move along through this process.
And down to number 6 on the list is Tennessee.
Sweet tea, Tennessee.
The violent crime in the volunteer state is declining, including a nearly 9% drop in the murder rate in 2022, but it is still among the most violent states in the nation, according to FBI crime statistics. Wow. Human Rights Campaign alleges Tennessee lawmakers unleashed a tsunami of discriminatory legislation in 2024, including a law signed by Republican Governor Bill Lee in April that forbids the state social services department from seeking to place LGBTQ plus foster children in supportive homes. Another law clears the way for the state to abolish its independent Human Rights Commission, folding it into the partisan Attorney General's office. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. 2024 quality of life score for the great state of Tennessee is 96 out of 325, which gives us a score of F. Did it get like an F plus at some point when we get down here?
F minus.
Would it be an F minus? Wouldn't it?
Strength.
Apparently, I need to go back to school.
You get an F plus.
Yep, I got an F plus.
Strength are child care and air quality.
Yep.
Weaknesses, crime, inclusiveness, and healthcare. Jesus Christ,
what
man.
a messed up state you got to be like. Yeah, weakness, inclusiveness. So basically, if this is why my wife said she's never walking into Tennessee. Like.
Bro. It is so interesting. I mean, but this is also the place that you saw where they were like, we're banning drag queens. And you're like, what?
They're banning everything.
What? Like that? Okay. Like, what? Who hurt you?
Well, let's have a look at this wonderful government and see what they're stacked with.
Sweet Tea, Tennessee. You are looking at 75 Republican in a majority, and the minority is 24 Democrat, with the Senate majority being at 27 and the minority being at 6 Democrats, with a Republican governor.
Republican. Yikes.
Let's go down more.
That's Yahtzee right there, baby.
You know, one place
good Lord.
I do want to visit is this next location, but I don't know after this.
Yeah, right. Number 5 on the list is Arkansas, which that's what's her name?
That is correct.
What's her name?
Be shoot, now I'm going.
You almost
Sarah Huckabee.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
There you go.
Where they think having children go back to work is a good idea.
Child labor, baby.
Arkansas. It's legal. It's legal in Arkansas.
The fact that she had children there, she signed that bill, blows my mind.
And they all looked like miserable. Like they weren't like smiling. They're like, oh,
they weren't getting paid minimum wage to be there. That's what happened.
Yeah, were you getting paid to be there? The natural state is dangerous, with the second highest violent crime rate in the nation after New Mexico. Anti-discrimination provisions in the state's public accommodation law are weak, according to the National Conference of State Legislatures, with no protections against discrimination based on age, veteran, or military status, pregnancy, sexual orientation, or marital status. However, the state is a leader in affordable child care. A married median income couple can expect to pay just 9% of their income on child care. The state of about 3 million people has nearly 1,800 licensed child care facilities. The good news is that you won't have to use any of those facilities because you'll be sending them to work. And
that's
the quality of
the kids are working.
They don't need to go.
It's like
quality of life score is 93 out of 325, giving them a grade of
F.
Their strength is childcare. Their weaknesses is inclusiveness, crime, and voting rights.
So now you can't even vote to change your own situation.
Right?
How do you change your stars? What does Arkansas have? Let's see. The House majority is looking at 82 Republicans, and the minority is 18 Democrats, with a Senate majority of 29 and a minority of 6 Democrats, with the Republican governor of Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
I'm noticing a pattern here, bro.
F's across the board. When Republicans run things, they run things.
When there's an R next to the state, you can count on there being an F.
Which we're going to have to break this down because it really makes me think. What are Democrats doing on a local level? Where are we failing, and where do we need to jump in, and how do we need to fix some of these things?
Yeah.
Because we got to find that it starts on the local level.
Yeah.
That's a reality.
Well, that's where the pipeline starts, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's move on to number 4 on our list. which is Oklahoma. Oklahoma's abortion ban, triggered by the Supreme Court's 2022 Dobbs decision, is among the most restrictive in the nation, according to the Guttmacher Institute. It prohibits abortions at any stage of pregnancy except in cases of rape or incest, or if the procedure is necessary to save the life of the mother. Oklahomans have the nation's third highest obesity rate and the third lowest rate of physical exercise. That helps make the Sooner State among America's least healthy. Their quality of life score is a whopping 85 out of 325, giving them a score of...
I'm going to say F-, but it just says F.
It just says F. I think we're just... I think we bottomed out. Hit the bottom. Yeah. So
everything is bottom.
Yep. Bottom. Oklahoma's strengths are air quality. Mm-hmm. Their weaknesses are reproductive rights, health, worker protections, and voting rights.
And why don't you go ahead and add that the Supreme Court literally told us that a 109-year-old cannot have justice for the Tulsa massacre that happened in Oklahoma.
Yes.
Let's just realize.
That didn't happen.
That did happen. That definitely did happen. So thank you, Oklahoma. We're looking at your House majority of 81 Republicans and 20 Democrats in the minority, with the Senate majority being 40 Republicans, a minority of 8 Democrats, with a Republican governor. F.
F is for
Republican. That's right. Hooked on phonics. I went to school in a Republican state.
I wonder if at this point our followers are going to be like guessing which state is next on the list. We've only got 3 left. So
yeah, top 3, guys. Top 3.
Top 3. I'm going to give you I'm just going to give you a second. Think about all the ones we've done so far, and then just what states pop to the front of your mind that we haven't listed yet. And
here we go.
So number 3 on the list, if you didn't guess, was Alabama. Alabama is one of only 3 states that do not allow early voting, according to the Center of Election Innovation and Research. The other 2 are Mississippi and New Hampshire. And this year, the state passed significant new restrictions on absentee voting. Oxfam America ranked the Yellowhammer state dead last for wage policies. The state minimum wage is $7.25 per hour, covers less than 20% of the cost of living for a family of 4. Alabama is one of only 5 states with no public accommodation law barring discrimination against non-disabled people. The quality of life score for this state is 83 out of 325, giving us a score, once again, of...
F minus.
Yep. The strength is childcare. The weaknesses are voting rights, inclusiveness, worker protections, and I'm going to go ahead and say wages.
100%. No working wage. There's no working wage. That's ridiculous.
And what does our government look like in the great state of Alabama?
House majority is having 76 Republicans with 28 Democrats in the minority, and then 1 vacant seat. When you're looking at the Senate majority, you're looking at 27 Republicans, and you're looking at 8 Democrats in the minority with a Republican governor. F minus.
Oh, man. It's hard to believe, isn't it? Number 2. Yeah,
no, it's not.
Not really.
No, it's not. When you look at their policies and their plans,
it's like, this is exactly what we would expect. So number 2 is...
This one shocked me.
Yeah, I'm surprised that it's this low. So Indiana is number 2 on the list. It is the worst state for access to childcare, with only 772 licensed facilities in the state of nearly 7 million people. Good Lord. The low supply versus demand makes childcare expensive in the Hoosier state. A married couple can expect to spend nearly 13% of a median income on childcare. Indiana has joined a parade of states passing laws targeting the LGBTQ+ population, including a ban on gender-affirming care for minors and barring teachers from discussing human sexuality from pre-kindergarten through 3rd grade. The quality of life score is 78 out of 325, giving them a score of... shouldn't even be on the scale at this point.
F minus is what we're giving that. Let's be serious.
So their strengths are low crime. Their weaknesses are childcare, reproductive rights, inclusiveness, and voting rights. Yay.
The only thing good about Indiana that's ever given America is the Jackson 5. I said what I said. When you look at Indiana's majority for the House, it is 70 Republicans, and in the minority, you're looking at 30 Democrats. For the Senate majority, you're looking at 39 Republicans and 10 Democrats in the minority position. And then there's a non-caucusing Republican. Pretty much, they just don't really claim they are, but we know that they are. They are.
Yeah.
And our government.
We know what you are.
We know what you are. And then their governor is a Republican.
Yeah, of course. All right. So, drum roll, please. Number 1 for the worst state for quality of life in the United States is the great state of Texas. Can we hear it for Texas, please?
Pew, 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 pew. Texas, man. Texas doesn't disappoint.
Nope. This is where Elon Musk and Kill Tony have moved to.
And
people are moving to the Lone Star State in droves. Some 220,000 educated workers moved there in 2022 alone, according to the Census Bureau, and that's probably because Tesla moved their place there. Yeah. So how could we possibly score Texas at the bottom for quality of life? The fact is that people move to the state for any number of reasons, though ones arriving in Texas are encountering some serious livability issues based on the data. Take something as basic as healthcare. Texas ranks near the bottom in primary care providers per 100,000 residents at 182, according to the United Health Foundation. According to the Commonwealth Fund, Texas leads the nation by far in residents without health insurance, and a staggering 19% of all people with a credit score in Texas have medical debt that has gone to collections. Those new Texans are also finding few protections in the law. Texas is another state with no public accommodation law barring discrimination against non-disabled people. It has passed a barrage of laws targeting the LGBTQ plus community, and its abortion ban is the strictest in the nation. Also, if any of those new Texas residents lose their jobs, state unemployment benefits cover less than 10% of the average cost of living. Might Texas's restrictive policies trigger a backlash? There are some anecdotal accounts of people leaving the state over its abortion ban and its anti-LGBTQ laws. But for now, statistically speaking, people keep pouring into the state with America's worst quality of life. Quality of life score, 75 out of 325, giving them a score of who gives a shit. And their strength is air quality, and their weaknesses are reproductive rights, healthcare, voting rights, inclusiveness, worker protections. So they had a little correction at the bottom of this. Alabama is one of only 3 states that do not allow early voting. Delaware recently reinstated their early voting. So slight correction there.
It's quite interesting to see because my brother lives in Texas, and he keeps telling me that he's like, Ian, you should really move here. Like, you can buy a house.
My brother-in-law lives there.
And I'm just like, what?
Oops.
Yeah, we can go right into it.
Yeah.
So when you're looking at the Texas House majority, you're looking at 86 Republican, 64 for minority for Democrat, and for the Senate majority, you're looking at 19 Republican and 12 Democrat in the minority position, with a Republican governor who likes to bus asylum seekers to other states for political gain.
With millions of dollars of taxpayer money.
That's correct. Yeah, it's quite interesting. But my brother lives there, and he recently was like, you should really think about moving here. And I'm like, do you know what your healthcare system is like? I go, I am not interested. And I don't mean that as in like your power grid is a whole nother conversation. It is the only state that is its own power grid. The West Coast and the East Coast both have a unison connection that goes throughout the Midwest in back to each left and right, east and west. Texas, the reason why their grid is terrible is that they are independent from the entire American grid. And with the weather becoming as extreme as it is, being the cold that they're receiving, which they haven't received ever in our lifetime. Yeah. And by that, I mean like in the last 100 years or since they were built, let's be honest, since 1776. Their infrastructure is not built for this new weather. So therefore, this is why they suffer so much more when they get hit by either extreme cold or now these hurricanes, much like we just saw with Burl that was a category 5 that came up to them. It didn't hit them as a category 5, but it definitely was a strong enough hurricane where it wiped out a number of things. It was worse than people thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. Texas is not a safe spot.
Nope. unless you're white, male.
Fuck. It's like, that's America now. That's where we're at.
You know, that's where you go if you want to go back to the 1960s.
Oh my
Move
God.
to Texas.
Move to Texas.
So with that ends our list of the bottom 10 states in our country.
Of America.
The reason that we want to do this show, as you can see, is to show you that it isn't Democrat-run states that are the worst. It is Republicans that are running these states. You know, we keep electing Republicans thinking that they're good in business. They're not good in business. They're good at deregulating things so that it looks like they're staying in business, which is why they want to vote for somebody like Donald Trump, because regulations cost money to them, and they don't want that. So, that's the one thing I hope people take from this show is when you go into the voting booth, voting for a Republican is voting for the worst in our country. Voting for a Democrat at least gives us a shot.
It really comes down to also the importance of local election.
Yes. That's where it all starts.
It's not just about the president. It's not just about the Senate in D.C., the House. It's not about that. You got to look at your state, because that's where, when you start having the conversation about state rights, that's where this really hits home. Yep. And I really want to encourage everybody, because this is what was so eye-opening to me when I was doing this research. And that's why I said fuck, because I did not realize how bad it was going to get, where Democrats are losing on a state level. They are. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. Which we do need to keep in consideration, Ryan, about the gerrymandering that takes place. Maps were overturned. Florida's maps were overturned. Mm-hmm. South Carolina's maps were overturned. You already know Texas does not care about what anybody else has to say about what the gerrymandered map is. And gerrymandering, as our fans and also a lot of the people who watch this show know, this is where a party, usually the party in power, gets to choose how they map out their constituents. And it can be the most ideal roadmap of the squiggliest of lines, which are not really clear cut or anything. And one thing I have to say is something that unfolded within the last decade was Michigan led the way with a third party to make the map. So no Democrat and no Republican could actually choose the map for the following election year. It was a third party, and for the first time, Michigan actually voted predominantly Democrat, because the lines weren't cut a certain way that excluded either a black vote, a demographic of women, or a demographic of anything that would persuade it to lean towards one party or the other. It was an actual fair structured gerrymandered map. When that's said, and I shouldn't even say gerrymandered map, the map that they created was a fair map across the board. It just happened that people voted predominantly Democratic. When you look at elections and you see who's actually voting, a lot of it is voting for progress, voting for systems that work, that implement, that take care of you, your neighbor, the community next to you. But when you're looking at the gerrymandering aspect of this, you realize what the issues are. You realize that we're going to be in this rat race a lot longer than we need to be.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that, I hope that we can get people to take this information, and maybe we'll open up some eyes. Maybe we're not. But if anything, take this, use these receipts against anybody that tells you that it's Democratic cities that are failing. It's Republican states that are failing.
Yeah.
And as you can see, there's more than enough F's to go around. So with that, I think we're going to leave it here. And as always, much love, keep fighting, and make sure whatever you do, make sure you get your ass out and vote.